Hey everyone, this is Leftovers for Dinner, and today I'm going to talk about supplies you need to carve out your own stamp. Now, I was originally going to do a video on the whole process, supplies, making yourself a little image, carving the stamp out, and basically like what you need to do to properly carve one out. And I found out that was a really long video. By the time I was done, it was like 40 minutes. So instead, I'm just going to break it up into smaller parts because there's a lot of information that I want to share with everybody to make sure that, you know, they're well equipped, and if they want to do this, they don't give up because they can't find something or they don't understand how to do something. So first, we're going to talk about supplies. Stamp carving, you carve out an image onto a medium, and that medium can be anything. I use a Speedball Speedy Carve. We refer to it as the pink stuff, and here's some stamps that I've carved. It doesn't look like much, but here's what a lot of them look like, when they're stamped out. So, and then these, I kind of use like half as like business or blog cards, half to just show people what I can do. Oops, that's upside down. Duh. And the cool thing is, you know, people are like, oh, that's a pretty stamp, or oh, you're into arts and crafts. And then you turn it over, it's got my blog URL, and it's just got a little blurb. And as you can see, these are two different colors, two different types of paper. You can get creative when you carve out your own stamp. Make your own impression, you know, wild colors, muted colors, old school paper, professional cardstock, anything. And that's why I think a lot of people are going to like it. And that's why I'm going to tell you guys how to do it. So first, the medium, again, Speedball Speedy Carve. It's this big pink thing right here. Kind of looks like a pink school eraser. This is one of the more popular substances. This stuff, like, oh man, I got stuff on it. Block about this size might run you, I want to say $11. Get a coupon, you can get it cheaper. But for newbies, you know, you could end up carving a couple stamps, making a bunch of mistakes, and use this all up in no time. So this, it's good, it's the best thing to learn off of, but it can cost some money. Now, when you start to go pro with your stamp carving, you can move up to other mediums. This is Master Cut or M-Carve. You can get this from specialty stamp carving stores. I prefer a store online. It's called Stampies. They cater to stamp carvers and letterboxers. And I got both these pieces from them on sale. They like to do coupon codes and things. But you can get a lot of this stuff at artist supply stores. Big box craft stores don't always carry it. Sometimes you might find the pink stuff at AC Moore. Again, use a coupon. Now, if you don't have a big box craft store nearby, try an artist store. You'll find a decent selection, or look online. And if both of those aren't an option because you don't want to pay shipping and you're not sure if you're really going to like this type of stuff, here's another idea. Go to the dollar store and get yourself some big erasers. They're cheap. If you mess up, so what? It was $1. You know what? Some of them, if you get the right ones, it's almost the same quality as some of the high-end stuff, like this white thing. Now, there's different types of erasers you need to look out for at the dollar store. This one, it's good. It's a little hard to cut through, but it's cheap. You get all this space in case you want to make a big stamp. And the material, honestly, is very similar to the carving medium that block printers, like, you know, those guys who make like t-shirts or really high-run sets of business cards. The material for this is very similar to the material they use. So if you're just doing something just to push it out, like a whole bunch of Christmas cards, get this one. It don't hurt. And plus, I mean, Christmas cards, you could carve out a big old Christmas tree right there. Now, if you're a letterboxer or you want to do tiny little stationery things, get this stuff. This is like a nylon polymer blend. Can't say that. Nylon polymer blend. It's very close to, as far as texture, this pink stuff right here. and it cuts smoothly. When I first started carving out stamps, I was going through stamp carving material like crazy. I was just carving everything. Like, ooh, let's carve a cupcake. Ooh, let's carve a duck. You know? This saved me, because instead of running out and spending 11 bucks a pop, and as you can see, that's part of your 11 bucks already. Sometimes more, depending on where you're at. You know, I got done in no time. So, this, just $1. I could make mistakes, I could learn off of it. And again, the quality from these ones, like the nylon-y type ones, it's just better. Here, let's show you. I'm not sure if my camera's gonna zoom on that, but the texture is a little softer, which might be good for beginners. It was for me. And it's a little better than, let's go ahead and open up the elephant. Making a big old mess on the desk. Yeah, the elephant, it's like, if you, I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to be a little powdery already on my hands. But again, all I need to do though, if I just need to do just one quick project, lay it flat, carve it out. Well, good note for everybody. Always remember to charge your battery. Back, and we were talking about supplies needed to carve out your own custom stamp, and I was just letting everybody know about the quality of this. Again, it's not the best, but if you get them fresh from the dollar store, you can tell what fresh is. If it's got a bunch of powder in the bottom of it, don't bother with it. But again, it's cheap, and if you want to learn or practice or anything, it's an inexpensive way to get into stamp carving. So let me put these away. Okay, now to carve out stamps, again, the medium, the erasers, or the pink stuff, Speedball Speedy Carve, or the high-end M-Carve stuff. That's going to be what you use to carve out your stamp. You're also going to need an image that you sketched out yourself, or you can use royalty-free clip art. You can also, what I like to do, I like to go to the Gutenberg project and find really, really old illustrations and sometimes carve those out. They make for like an interesting, like, I don't know, greeting card or something. If you carve something really pretty out, you can put it on the front of a postcard or a little, you know, get well soon card. Me, I'm actually changing my little letterboxing logo to include my new dog Pepper, and that's Ben, and that's my name, Leftovers for Dinner. Now, this is the image, and there's a bunch of different ways you get this image onto this medium. Me, I go the old school way. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I just trace out the image, turn it over, and scratch it on. Rub it onto the medium that I'm carving onto. Now there's other ways to do it, and those require additional supplies, and sometimes don't always work. Earlier, a couple years ago, I had a what is it called, a laser printer, and those, what you can do is, if you have your image already set up on your computer, you can just print it out in black and white and use acetone, not fingernail polish remover, but 100% acetone, and just transfer the image using a cotton ball directly onto your medium. I don't like that way. Sometimes it doesn't always transfer correctly. Sometimes it slips and your image is all messed up, and basically you've kind of messed up your carving medium and you have to clean it. Me, I find it's best to just tape my image down with a piece of Scotch tape onto my medium and just, you know, rub it on there, transfer it on. So to do that, you'll need plain old graphite or carbon pencils. Don't get anything fancy. You don't have to go to the artist store. You can if you want, but plain old cheap pencils work just fine. I've found mechanical pencils sometimes don't work. Sometimes they kind of mess up the paper. Just using these things and getting a pencil sharpener works good. So far we have carving medium, pretty picture, pencils, and now ink. After you carve your stamp out, you're going to need some ink. If you plan on making this a lifelong hobby, invest in some dye, ink, and buy the best ink you can afford. This is Memories brand, I guess, dye ink pad. This was kind of expensive. This little thing right here was friggin', what, $6 or $7? Get a coupon. Again, just print it out. And even if you have to print out a stack of coupons and go every day because the craft store's near your work, do it. You'll save a lot of money. As you can see, I have a bunch of different reds and black, and there's even more behind the camera. I have a whole bunch of stuff because I really like this, but I needed to use coupons. Now, if you just want to try this out, or you have a specific scrapbooking project in mind, you can get these little things. These are pretty cheap. They're about $1, sometimes on sale 50 cents. They're acid-free pigment inks. Pigment inks, they're good for scrapbooking, card making, things like that. And they're very vibrant. This little piece of paper is actually a bluish powdery color. And I think I use this one, which is like a beetroot color. Did that a while ago, and it's still very vibrant and crisp, and so is that side. So if you're doing this for arts and craftsy scrapbooking stuff, get these. They come in a ton of colors. You don't have to spend or invest a lot of money, and they store easily. I have all these in a little shoebox under my desk. One thing I forgot to mention, dye. This is great if you want to make a permanent stamp in something like a logbook or your geocacher or letterboxer, and whatever you do is exposed to the elements. Dye is awesome. So we've got carving medium, pencils, cute image, cheap carving medium, ink again. And now the most expensive part of carving stamps is going to be the carving tools. Now, there's a big debate in the stamp carving community that who cares? It's the equivalent of like camera people arguing like Sony, Nikon, Canon, whatever. Anyhow, when you start off, you'll have two options. Technically, you'll have three. You could use a pen knife, which I don't do because I never figured it out, or you'll have speedball or Staedtler. Speedball, this, it's more likely that you'll find a speedball stamp carving kit in your local craft store or online. This little thing has a little end, and inside of it, it's got different carving tools. And what you do, you just put it in there and tighten it up. And nice big, fat, sturdy, safety, like training wheels type handle for you to carve out your stuff. I like this because it was cheap, and I'm not a very finely trained artist, so I kind of appreciated the big, thick handle that I could hold on to and stabilize myself with. Plus, instead of having to go and buy a bunch of these, I already had everything that came with it. However, some people swear that Staedtler provides a nicer, thinner, cleaner cut. So if you plan on carving out the Mona Lisa or something really elaborate, you can try Staedtler. I have this one. This is a number 1. You can tell by the tip. Let's go over that now. It's really tiny, so you can make really fine little details like eyes or tiny leaves, things like that. You can do the same thing with Speedball. This is their, let me hold this up. This is their number 1. Oops, there we go. And you can also adjust their number 1 and get a custom number 1 made for you. This I got from a letterboxing and stamp carving website. This ran me $10. This ran me $11. This whole kit, I used a coupon, and I got the kit, which had the starter blades, sizes 1 through, I want to say 6, convenient handle, and stamp carving material. It had like a small thing of stamp carving material plus a little instruction booklet. Got all that, the carving material, handle, blades, things like that. For after the coupon, I ended up paying $7.99. So this, in my opinion, is the best. Granted, you're gonna have people who are amazing artists and swear by this one. That's fine. Let them do that. If you're starting out, I kind of recommend this. And that's because of the different blades. When you pick your first image, you're going to pick something really basic. And depending on the level of detail, you'll need all these different blades. Let me lay them out for you now. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. Oops. Okay. Don't know if you guys can see that. But as you can tell, that is the amount that you're going to carve out of your stuff, your carving material. And let's see. Yeah, this one's a number 2. This one's a number 5. If you look, number 1, number 2. So you've got a wide jump in the amount of area you carve out when you do your stamps. So if you're just getting into this and you want to start, get this. Use a coupon. You might spend $7.99. Tools are very solid. They'll last you a long time, but you can always buy refills. Get this. If you can get it with the kit with the speedball, that'll give you some of that, so you can learn off that. Get pencils, ink, and try some cheap stuff. Oh, and don't forget some pretty paper once you're done, so you can test out your pretty stamps. Now, my next video, I'm going to actually show you how to sketch out and start carving out your stamp. But if you think I missed anything, I'm pretty sure I probably did, or you'd like me to go over something specifically, let me know. Leave a comment in the video thread, or send me a direct message and just tell me what's up. I'll also be sure to put some links to some coupons if you want to get the stuff on the cheap, or links on more information about stamp carving. So, hope you like this video. I'm going to clean up my desk and hopefully carve out a stamp.